Hi, Retired Grandpa here. Can you trust your life to the FRT? Is the FRT considered drop safe? Is it considered duty rated? Are you willing to use this device to protect your home, your castle, your friends, family, community? We're about to find out. But first, I want you to watch the entire video because you're not going to want to miss this. All right, for this next segment, we're going to bury it in some dirt. I'll go ahead and place a selector on FRT. Maybe the person's already engaged and they dropped their weapon before they were able to put it back on safe. And just a disclaimer, I am facing a safe direction. Pick it up. Oh yeah. Put it back on safe. So far, so good. Let's take it to the next level. All right, for this next test, I do have another magazine. It's locked and loaded, round chambered. Weapon is on safe, and I do have a muzzle cap just because I don't want to get mud and stuff, or at least a lot of water down the barrel. We do know that straight clean water is okay. There are military personnel that do take these diving with them. So we're just going to kind of put this in the mud. Now, people familiar with the M16 line of firearms do know that with the ejection port covered closed, this is a fairly well sealed weapon system. Now, the big question here is the mud and goop that gets inside the hole here under the trigger. Is that going to affect the trigger mechanism anyway? So that's going to be the big test here. We're about to find out. I am going to take the muzzle cover off. It's the only one I got. I don't want to lose it. Iron hole. Oh. Yep. You're getting a single shot out of it. Yep. So let's break this open and see what happened. There's our magazine. It's still pretty clean. The inside of the firing mechanism is good. Even the bolt and all is good. So the weapon does a pretty good job of sealing out the elements. However, close that. We have to see maybe what sort of grime got into the trigger mechanism. But what I'm going to do, see if I can just take some standard water. Hope I'll dehydrate later and just wash it out. That's all I'm going to do, just wash it out. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to see if it'll work. Put it on FRT. Nope. I did pull the hammer again. It did drop, so maybe that was on me. Nope. The bolt's probably not going all the way back. Yeah. Okay. Just for the sake of it, let me grab another magazine and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Grabbed a fresh magazine. Nope. I'll try it one more time and then we'll move on. FRT. Nope. It feels real sluggish inside, almost like the bolt's not going all the way back. So all right, well, let me do this one more time. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the buffer out and see what the buffer looks like. A little bit I got, not too bad. That's a Gasly Super 42 H3 buffer. See that? You know, buffer looks good. The extension tube looks good. I'm not sure what's going on there. Yeah, I referred to this as the auto sear in a previous video, but that's actually the lock bar. I mean, everything's working as it should. That's really interesting. Now, let me try. Before I close it up, I have to drop the hammer down. But that. Let me do a function test. FRT. Nope. It only works in semi-automatic. So the FRT part is dead. So the moral of this, don't drop it in the mud. Hey, so real quick, I just took the upper off. I didn't do anything else to it. I did take my little piece of plastic that I had wedged down in there out. But doing a function check manually, I can press the trigger, push the locking bar, and I can feel when I push down, it's pushing my finger forward. But when I let go, or when I push the lock bar forward while keeping pressure on the trigger, it releases. So push down, it's resetting, and then when the locking bar is pushed again by the bolt carrier, it releases. So, see, then I press the locking bar, see, press, locks, press, whoop, locks. So, it very well could be that the FRT is good to go. Maybe there's something wrong with the firearm itself. Stand by, we're going to find out. All right, welcome back. Hope you had a chance to go use the restroom or get some popcorn. I literally cannot find anything wrong with the lower receiver or the upper. The only thing that maybe remotely might be wrong is it's got a lot of water in it, so maybe that dissipated some of the oil. Unfortunately, I didn't bring my actual oil bottle with me. I just got done cleaning the firearms from the other video. So what I'm going to do is simply do a quick wipe using Ballistol. Ballistol is probably my favorite CLP, if you will. I started off at a young age using hops number 9, probably like most of y'all did. And then through the military, ended up using Break Free. And then probably, well, over 10 years ago, I started using Ballistol. And ever since then, never went back to anything else. So, all right. So I put a little lubrication in there. in YouTube, all this is just standard maintenance. It's not showing any kind of gunsmith repairs or anything. Bar down, fins out. Safe. All right. Put my gloves on real quick. And hopefully this will do the trick. Got back on FRT. Here we go. Yep. Bolt just didn't simply lock back. So I do believe that was the case. Is that what oil I did have in here was already, I guess, removed during firing earlier, and didn't lubricate again. But it was a very simple fix. So the moral of the story is, if you wear a plate carrier, or any kind of kit, maybe just keep some of these in your car, or somewhere readily available in case you ever do run across a problem, need a quick way to lubricate your rifle. There you go. When I said that the FRT failed earlier, I will say that I said that prematurely, and I really should have maybe brought a standard mil-spec type lower with a standard mil-spec type trigger in it, just so I can have, I guess, a fair comparison between the two. I will say that the FRT is, in my opinion, very good. I mean, could it be better? Absolutely. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But so far so good, except for that one little issue. But thankfully that was a quick fix. All right, let's take it to one more level. All right, for this next test, I got a primed case in the chamber. I got it on FRT. I'm gonna chunk it and see what happens. Pretty good about putting the muzzle down into the dirt. I don't think at this point I'd want to shoot it. So, but yep, case is still in there. I use a forward assist. Do that again. Yeah, it's good about landing muzzle down. And just to show that this is a live primer. So far, so good. Will you trust it now? About to take it to the next level. Oh yeah, let's get you some. Hey y'all, so what are your thoughts on the FRT? Would you consider this to be duty rated? Would you trust your life to this product? Do you think it's capable of serving in a military, law enforcement, or even civilian defense applications? Please let me know. Drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Personally, I'd say yes, with the caveat of just make sure that it's lubricated, that the firearm's lubricated, and maybe avoid mud. But in all fairness, I didn't try a mil-spec trigger system in the same condition. So was it the rifle? Was it the lubricant? Was it the FRT? We don't know, and I apologize for that. Maybe one day I'll do like a follow-up video doing a mil-spec type trigger, and I appreciate if you, well, I apologize if y'all hear any excess noise. Got a lot of wind here. Anyway, maybe one day if I get enough comments requesting it, I can do a similar test with a mil-spec lower or mil-spec trigger, and maybe see if we can put some of that to rest. It's a nice day out here, but it's awful warm for it to be February, or actually March 1st. Happy March 1st. But I am very impressed with this trigger. Is it worth the price of admission? That's going to be up to the individual person. I've been running Geisley triggers ever since 2009 when I was introduced to the Super Select Fire. Phenomenal trigger. I love Geisley products. And this is the first time I've deviated from Geisley. I've ran all their, I primarily run their SSAs. And when I got into the Super Duty line, I think it's the SSAEX or something like that, the Lightning Bow. Phenomenal trigger, really is. If I could get that trigger with an FRT function, that would be a dream come true, aside from the NFA being abolished, but that's another story. But overall, pretty impressed. The cyclic rate is a little bit slow. There could be some contaminants in the gas tube, or maybe even the gas port. Well, probably not so much in the gas port, maybe in the gas tube. Earlier in the videos, I did comment about probably wouldn't want to shoot this if it's got mud and stuff in the barrel or in the muzzle. I don't know if y'all picked up on it, but just firing a primed case pushed out all the contaminants in the barrel. So I felt comfortable in shooting live ammunition for that last segment in the video. So all in all, very impressive. Let's see. Okay, at first I thought maybe there's a little scratch or something on the screw for the selector, but it's not. But I'll give y'all a close up of this. Very impressed. So I will say BCM makes phenomenal products. Probably my top 3 AR platforms: BCM, Geisley, and Daniel Defense, in no particular order. I'm willing to take any of them. I mean, there's only my experiences with the M16, M4. They're all going to handle pretty much just like this. I mean, the results are going to be pretty much the same. The only thing I can't speculate under these exact circumstances how the trigger would handle. But I mean, you are to expect some dings and scratches and something like that. That, I mean, it is aluminum, but a little ding up here on the carry handle, but that's par for the course. And all your weapons that you see in military use or even law enforcement are going to be in a lot worse condition than this. So with that, I wish everybody a fantastic day. Y'all please be safe, and God bless. We'll catch you in the next video.